our score.
New this morning, we're getting our first look inside Parliament.
So you've got two sides to what we're seeing here.
Welcome to Firsthand, the podcast where we hear firsthand accounts of the most important moments in history from the people who lived them. I'm Devin Field.
I'm Greg Gallant.
And we are back again, ready to talk history, ready to talk gaffes.
Yeah, not history so much anymore.
No, I don't even know why I still cling to the word. This podcast has become like the History Channel itself. It's no longer about history. It's not grounded in that as an identity anymore. So if that's what you came here for, you're not getting it.
Yeah, go back to season 1 when everything was serious, okay? Because
come on, nerds. Get out of here.
Now we're just talking gaffes. But I will say it worked. We sold out. We're rich now. I mean, we're raking in dough every week.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
Firsthand sold out. And we're proud to say now the Firsthand Cruise has also sold out,
it's
baby.
Also sold out. And that
sold out.
And what people have been pushing back on when I explained to them that it's sold out is that they think that's pretty directly connected to the fact that we really lowered the number of tickets available.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't articulate why that's not the case, but it isn't the case.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Demand was high, I guess, is my point.
Yeah, demand was high. We did, for safety reasons, obviously lower the capacity of the cruise. And a lot of people, another thing that people push back on is that they say, because I'd say about 80% of our ticket sales are people who've promised they're going to pay us on the day. And now a lot of people say that doesn't count as being sold out, but we are holding those spots.
It doesn't register into the metrics. I don't want to get too technical, but it doesn't register into the metrics as immediately as when you pay ahead of time. Obviously, that's going to get into our inbox in a certain way, but we know these people are good for it. And and some of them, frankly, I was too scared to ask for payment from in any real way. These are desperate men seeking passage away from the United States. I mean, this is beginning to attract a strange but cool crowd.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be an experience. So, look, here's my sell at the moment. Even if you don't like this podcast, even if you're not enticed,
even if you hate this,
even if you're not enticed by our travel itinerary, which includes Persian Gulf, Somalian coast, French Polynesia, and the South Pole, even if you don't want to check all those areas,
all bucket list locations for me,
come for the people watching. I think we're gonna have.
This is a really eclectic bunch.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
This is like one of the salons in the Algonquin Hotel with those writers. You know, you could be sitting next to Ayn Rand or someone equally unpleasant.
Yeah, and actually that does segue nicely into some news, Dev. We got someone. We got Ayn Rand. She will
be doing stand-up. She's doing stand-up for the first time. And it's so cool. Her act is great. At first, she sort of scolds the audience for wasting their money for being there at all. And then she does this long chunk it's like her you should learn a trade bit. And I think that one is just kills because she's just like destroying hecklers, you know?
I think it's her confidence too, because she really doesn't care about anyone laughing but herself. Like she only cares about herself liking it.
Which is that's the true art of stand-up is fuck you. This is what me and my buddies think is funny.
Yeah. So she's going to be doing the set from her latest album, Atlas Laughed. And so, I mean, there's more to it than just Firsthand on Monsanto Presents the Firsthand Cruise.
Yeah, pretty rich programming itinerary. You know, it's like that Meryl Streep boat movie that just came out, where she's giving out sort of a lecture series on a cruise in the Atlantic Crossing. What was that movie on HBO Max? People are screaming at their radios. Is something they did say.
I have no earthly idea what you're talking about.
Because it's some like sentence fragment title, like Listeners, can you believe I'm looking up a Meryl Streep movie to verify its title?
Kramer.
Yes, that's it. Kramer. And
it's a biopic.
Meryl Streep stars as it's kind of a Joker-esque origin story of Kramer. Let Them All Talk is the title of the film.
Because I think he needs a Joker-esque origin story, because it's like none of us can even picture what Kramer would look like unhinged in front of a small audience, just losing it. Like how would that even look?
It would be so cinematically exciting, because you'd be like, this is untread first. This is a territory we've never been before. This is something fresh and new and exciting. So he's sort of like the Heath Ledger's Joker, where you're really unsure where this man came from and who he actually is. So anyway, Kramer will also be there. Michael Richards, I think, is returning to stand up on the cruise. He's opening for Ayn Rand. We didn't want to give him a headliner slot yet. We don't think he's ready for that.
We're not the kind of people who are just gonna let Michael Richards headline, okay? But we do have him booked, and it is one of those
comedy
opening
bookers,
acts.
That's exactly where our morality begins. Is like, well, hey, yes.
We would never let a piece of shit headline, but we will let them open. We will let them feature, and we will give them the money that the headliner would have made.
Yeah, that's that's comedy in 2021. Anyway, we hope that. Sorry to anyone who didn't get a ticket for the listenership. But
you can still join the mailing list to be on the blast the morning of at 3 a.m. when we let people know, and then you can come try to stow away if you want.
Please, we welcome any attempts at stowaway. We think that'll be a fun part of the launch. Finding people in compartments and going, "You're not supposed to be here," and throwing them off the ship. It's going to be a crucial part of the kickoff.
Yeah. But should we get to the gaffe of the week, Dev?
Get to the gaffe. Speaking of which, I wish Jim Gaffigan had committed some type of faux pas at some point, because we could have done a Gaffigan Gaff episode. Listeners, if you can think of any gaffes that Jim Gaffigan has ever made.
What would have been ideal is if he did 2. Because then we could do a gaff episode and then a Gaffigan Gaff again episode. Yeah.
That should be a title of one of his comedy albums. Gaffigan Gaffs Again.
It should. Listeners, if you know of 2 Gaffigan Gaffs, let us know. If you know of 1, keep it to your fucking self.
Yeah,
but if you know of 2, that would be awesome.
Don't at me.
So this week we are discussing an all-time great gaff. We are talking about Miss Teen South Carolina 2007, everyone.
We remember this viral vid.
You must remember this from her performance at the Miss Teen USA 2007 pageant. Pretty great gaff. So as you guys know, I'm going to run down the gaffs now. Last week, Devin said that I got too in-depth. He's being a bit of a little Goldilocks-ass bitch, if you ask me.
Hey, well, I like things just right,
All right. Well, here we go. So, Lauren Caitlin Upton, more frequently known as Kate Upton, a model, no relation, but decided consciously to make that change, was Miss Teen South Carolina 2007. She went on to compete at Miss Teen USA. She gained international notoriety for her, and I am reading straight from Wikipedia right now, convoluted and nonsensical response to a question posed to her by Friday Night Lights' Amy Teagarden. The question was...
Julie Taylor.
Taylor. Now, there's someone who never made a gaffe. No. She had literally everyone in America would fucking kill for those to be their parents. And then you look at the kid who had those parents and you go, yep, seems right. Turned out great. Not an ungrateful piece of shit at all.
Had the same values, passed on successfully. Yes. Absolutely.
So Julie Taylor asks, recent polls have shown 1/5 of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think that is? And Upton responded, and I quote, I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. Or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for our children. And quote, at which point the camera widens out.
The audience applauded and said, good answer. And Steve Harvey turned to the board.
Well, yeah. I was going to say, Mario Lopez's look is perhaps the greatest moment of the entire thing. Yeah. I mean, this is a man. I mean, I guess he's trained well, okay? Because this is a man who's had to hold in laughter around Tiffany Amber Thiessen, okay? Around some of the greatest comedic
comedy titans
of our time. So he holds it in. She winds up going on the Today Show to talk about her gaffe, where she defends herself saying, personally, my friends and I, we know exactly where the U.S. is on a map and don't know anyone who doesn't. I think if the statistics are correct, I believe there should be more emphasis on geography in our education so people will learn how to read maps better. So
that was her makeup answer on the Today Show the next day. Like they gave her another crack at it, basically.
He wound up modeling for such companies as Nautica and Wrangler, appearing in magazines like 17 and Cosmo Girl, and later signed with Donald Trump's modeling agency in New York City. She appeared in Weezer. Everybody. Big yikes. I mean, but that was 2007 or so no one knew that Donald Trump wasn't a stand-up guy back then.
Yeah, it just hadn't come out. It just wasn't.
There was there was no way to know.
Well, he was such an enigma at that point. He was a really unknowable figure in public media and public life.
Sort of a Gatsby, really. Is Gatsby
right? Like you kind of projected yourself onto his blank canvas. Yeah.
I mean, well, you and I both had a sham college and a steak business that sucked, so I think it was very easy for us to project.
Some of the best years of my life, to be honest with you, running those. So
eventually, Ms. Upton appeared in the Weezer music video Pork and Beans. She was a contestant on The Amazing Race, and eventually she married a personal trainer and became a real estate agent in Brentwood, Los Angeles. And I think we can all think of at least one famous Brentwood residence. So,
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler's house with the bloody gloves. All right. So, Devin. Forrest Gump.
We're Forrest Gumps. We've experienced every major event in American history. Sure, we can undercut it like Greg if we wanted to and deny our powerful mythological history. But yeah, we're Robert Zemeckis' Forrest Gumps. Okay? I'm not going to apologize for it anymore. I've experienced every event of history. Okay? Sorry. I'm just pissed.
What's up with you today? What's going on?
I really wanted to be a model for Donald Trump's modeling agency for a really long time. To hear about someone else getting there deservedly and also legitimately, I can't imagine how much people are exploited in the world of modeling. And so who knows what kind of options she was presented with when she did sign with Donald Trump's modeling agency. I'm sure in many ways her life was a hell at this point in life. But anyway, we were Forrest Gumps and we experienced this. And Greg, it sounded like you were asking me to tell the listeners how I was involved in this event in history.
I was.
So I will. As everyone knows, and this is something I also won't apologize for, I worked for George W. Bush between the years of 2000 and 2008. I was a member of that White House. I can't hide that fact, and I won't. I won't say I'm proud of the work we did because we didn't do shit. We jerked off and kind of, played pranks on each other around the office and watched a lot of The Office. It was kind of, coming on the air at that time. And
British too, or just American?
Yeah, we did start with the British a little bit, but when I put it on, the other Bush administration employees mercilessly attacked me. I mean, it was started as sort of good-natured roasting, and then it really became violent hazing. And so then we did just kind of quietly wait for the American one to come out.
If there's one thing that Condoleezza Rice does not do, it's cringe. And you can look at it every time she's tried to act, and that'll check out, I promise.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So I was, of course, working in the Department of Education because I had no experience in education. But one day I walked into the building and just said, this looks like my fucking desk, you shit kickers. And they really responded to that level of toxic alpha male drive. And so they just kind of gave me a seat, and I was working in the Department of Education. And, we were taking a lot of heat in the back half of the administration. No Child Left Behind had crashed and burned in pretty huge, demonstrable ways. And an entire generation of American public school children were lost in ways that are now coming to fruition. So we were really looking for a W, to invoke the prez. We were looking for a W, and I'm not talking about that Oliver Stone hack job. We were looking for...
Who played you in that, Devin?
It was Neil Patrick Harris.
It was part of the comeback. Comeback.
Yeah, it was sort of like early How I Met Your Mother. They're like, okay, this guy's back and he's a star, really flattering, really lovely portrayal. His one scene in the movie, he is getting his head put in a toilet, and it was really dignified. So we were looking for a win, and I was tasked with coming up with a bold new direction and a new specific focus for the United States Department of Education. And I sweat the details on this. I was nose to the grindstone working this shit out. And I got it. And I had just prepared my presentation, and I finished it. And I go, you know what? I got the presentation tomorrow in the morning, but I'm done. I'm ready. Let me just watch some TV. Let me watch the Miss Teen USA pageant. Pretty normal thing for a guy to just toss on.
Yeah, you throw it on at the end of the night. Yeah.
Yeah. Just unwind, turn your brain off a little bit, And so I'm watching it, and I see Lauren go up and answer this question this way. And as she's giving her answer, I open my binder, pull up the page. Her answer is verbatim my mission statement. Okay. I mean, identical. And, it's like, well, how am I going to turn this in tomorrow? Miss Teen USA just gave away the secret, I was like, also, the way she says it, I wonder if this idea makes any sense at all. I started doubting the core concept, which I really never should have, because it was very strong.
It's solid, yeah.
And it's just maps. It's just we do maps better. Let's do maps better was basically what it was.
And you also had a bit about helping. You also wanted to help the Iraq.
I've always wanted to help the Iraq. I think that's perfectly clear. I mean, who doesn't? And the South Africas and such as, so this was, this was exactly in line with my policy, and I doubted it. And I thought maybe I should throw this away, but I persevered. I presented it at the next cabinet meeting. It was a home run. And we ended up actually bringing Lauren Caitlin Upton into the Department of Education. A lot of people don't know this. She was the Secretary of Education from the week after her appearance. She became the Secretary of Education. And that
wasn't on her wiki. Was she like a Black Ops Secretary of Education?
Hush. Yeah, it was a shadow secretary. She was. Believe me, there is a such thing as a shadow cabinet, and she was in it.
That's what everyone's stressing out about who Biden's putting in his cabinet, and it's like it doesn't matter. Cabinet. The shadow cabinet is what matters.
Yes, trust me, and they're the ones that throw the best parties, honestly. So So it ended up really becoming a cornerstone of the Bush education policy was this exact answer. And the numbers ended up really showing that people did end up helping the South Africa and the RAC and the everywhere such as. So I stand by it.
It sounds like you did a great job and she did a great job.
I don't know how anyone could say otherwise.
Yeah, because the kids who were educated under that regime are becoming adults now, and look where we are.
Yes, exactly. They're learning they know exactly how to take in news and, internalize it and remember. They're leading the way in so many ways.
So many ways.
What about you, Greg? How were you involved?
Well, Devin, as you know, I've been a bit of a raconteur, a bit of a renaissance man in my life. Done a lot of things, and at that time, I was a bookie. I was a bookmaker, odds maker. I was running the numbers for the organized crime in Pasadena, which is where I didn't mention that. Pasadena is where the pageant took place. So,
dangerous area that you were.
I know it's so much organized crime there. So obviously, if you're running book for sports and events in Pasadena, there's one big event every year.
Mm-hmm. I think we know what it is.
Is making your bread, and that is Miss Teen USA pageant.
Huge.
So I'm there. I'm on the ground. Okay, I'm getting to know the families and everything. I got to have the inside info, okay, because I got to set the odds right, or I'm going to be killed. And, Lauren Caitlin Upton she's up there. She's 7-1. Okay. She's one of the contenders. Okay. Hillary Cruz, who went on to win the pageant, only 13-1. It was a bit of an upset. So, I lost a couple fingers to that.
Wow.
But thankfully, as we found out in my 23andMe, I'm 2% salamander, so the fingers grew back. At the time, I was just like, "This is lucky," and then later we did 23andMe, and I was like, "Oh,
yeah." Which and that's really come in handy for you so many times. I mean,
so many times.
That's the gift that keeps on giving. That salamander.
Oh yeah. Well, the weird thing is, I cut my fingernails; they don't grow back. So I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if that's a salamander thing or what, but. Anyway,
that piece might be a you thing.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't know. That's what all the doctors say. That's what all my ear, nose, and fingernail doctors say.
They go, this is a you thing. That's what they say.
And they mean an EWE thing because I'm also 2% sheep, and I guess that they don't grow back either. So anyways.
Got a lot going on.
There's a buzzing gambling industry around this event, Devin. It may surprise you to know that the type of adult male who would attend the Teen USA pageant that he didn't know anyone competing in, and the type of adult male who's a degenerate gambler overlaps quite a bit.
It's really fascinating the way, just the anthropology of that. You would never expect those two cultures to meet, and then here they are.
I mean, the Venn diagram is basically a circle that's a little blurry, just a slightly blurry circle.
Yeah.
So I have to update the odds for live betting, right? So I had to make several changes to the odds during this one paragraph, man. It was a frenzy, okay? Because starting off, she gets the question from Teagarden. Teagarden normally throws out softball questions. Right. I'm thinking, okay.
Yeah, ding, ding. Cakewalk.
I move her up to 1 to 6-1 odds from 7-1. She's even more of a favorite now, okay? And then she starts in, I personally believe that U.S. Americans. That was weird, okay? So now I'm at 8-1. Are unable to do
all these odds. This is like something on the Bill Simmons podcast network. I'm listening to The Ringer or something here.
I mean, and it was like that. It was like Uncut Gems, because also in this whole fucking time, I'm in the trunk of my car naked, right? And my wife Adele Dazeem is in there watching my daughter's piano recital or whatever. This
is like there's so much, Greg. And see, this is hard for me because there are so many stories you tell me about your life where you insist the whole time you tell me the story, it was exactly like Uncut Gems. You're always kind of being like, you know, so many different anecdotes you've shared have had that detail in common.
Well, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, Devin. How many times have our lives been imitated on the silver screen? And
a lot.
The Safdie brothers got us too.
Yeah.
I mean, then she throws some out there. I bump her up to 15-1. When she called it the Iraq, she's back up to 3-1 because this is 2007 and Americans love that shit.
Yeah,
they
freedom
love
fries.
Cultural ignorance, yes. But then she says, help the Iraq. And I'm like, okay, back down to 12-1 because I don't think anyone was really into that. I mean, at this point, we already know that Iraq did 9/11. And so,
open and shut case.
So, you know, they bounce around and then the final 3 words land and it's for our children. And I'm like, she stuck the landing, you know.
That's a strong close.
It's not how you drive, it's how you arrive. You know,
Boom.
this is Carrie Strug with a broken leg sticking the landing. And I say 2-1. This girl's winning. Wow. This girl's winning. So she doesn't win.
Right, of course. Right.
And now my bosses are pissed at me. That guy who plays the Bernie Sanders clone on Succession is pissed at me. These like weird twins are pissed at me. You know, my girlfriend is in a helicopter with this bloated Robert Evans type guy. It's spiraling out of control. I'd completely forgotten that Lauren Caitlin Upland no longer had the opal. So, you know.
That's right. That opal. You were holding onto that opal for so long. Tough.
So things go bad. And basically, let's just say I had to use my salamander powers a lot that year. I was losing things left and right.
Yeah. And in that way, it was less like Uncut Gems.
Yeah. I don't know why they took that out of the movie.
That Adam Sandler would have like webbed digits and stuff. Yeah.
And whenever he would, you know, well, I don't want to spoil Uncut Gems.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
I will spoil Good Time for you, though.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I cried at the end, and that's true. All right. Well, let's take a break.
Let's take a break, and we'll be back with some guests who also experienced this insane pageant moment.
Awesome.
And we come back. Welcome back to Firsthand. I'm Devin Field here with Greg.
I'm Greg Gallant.
Hi, Greg.
Hey, those are the fun little mistakes that make this magic, you know?
I didn't think a mistake was made, but I've learned a little about you and you calling it that. So,
okay, well, I think we're all learning lessons then.
Much like Miss Teen USA.
Don't seg away from this, Devin. Don't run away from this.
You know what? I just want when guests are here, I can't do this with you.
When this cruise is fucking over, we're done.
Okay. Wow.
This is not something that's been building within me. This hasn't been building up. This literally started 10 seconds ago when you fucking cut me off. And then you said it wasn't a mistake. I'm quitting.
Well, this is difficult, but we're going to soldier on. Okay, Greg?
That was really mature of you, man. And I'm glad that
you've been able to okay?
Put that behind. Yeah, I'm ready to move on too. Let's stop all this. I'm going to quit after the cruise talk. Okay, it's crazy. Let's just move on.
Okay. Well, we have 2 guests here that I want to get to because they have a really important perspective on this event that we're talking about here. First and foremost, we have someone who's probably as at the heart of this answer as anyone. It's the pageant coach for Miss South Carolina. Please welcome Mimi. Mimi is joining us. Hello, Mimi.
Y'all, thanks so much for having me. And I'm just so glad you sorted your cruise because that sounds like fun in the middle of a pandemic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well,
If you
let's
wanna
see if
come
we can
on.
scare up a ticket for Mimi,
It is in 1 week. We're doing our firsthand cruise for the season finale. It's big. You should come. You should come. I mean, it's
Oh my God, Lord knows I have the time. And not just because of the pandemic. I've been out of work since the 90s. And
Since the
wouldn't-
90s?
since, and you better believe that pageant, the one y'all are discussing today,
Mhm.
that ruined me.
well,
It ruined you?
it sucks because you presumably won Miss South Carolina, right? You won that. That should be an accomplishment enough, I feel like.
Well, it was one that was taken away. You know, I used to be the top pageant coach for about a decade after winning Miss Teen USA myself in the 80s.
Congratulations.
Get out of town.
Wow.
I will not get out of town. Where would I go?
Okay.
Anyway,
I'm
Good
sorry.
point. That's a good point.
Anyway, so I had run the gambit for years. I coached every winner you had ever seen. And I gave them all the exact same advice. Do not mention Asia and do not mention Africa. And wouldn't you know it?
Ugh.
Wouldn't you know that Miss Upton stormed in there and mentioned both in less than a minute?
Yikes.
To
Next
say
thing
nothing
you know,
of Iraq, also.
Mm-hmm.
that's fine. You can talk about that all you want.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying no to that. I'm not crazy. I'm trying to win. You got to
Jesus,
have
Devin.
the hot topics.
Okay.
But good God, leave Africa out of it.
Can you break down for us maybe why it is that one should leave Africa and Asia out of an answer, just in case I'm an idiot who doesn't understand why that's the case?
I'll tell you why, and that's a very good question, one that everybody in the pageant already knows the answer to. They can't understand you, so why are you talking to them?
Okay.
And it's as simple as that.
Okay.
It is as simple as that. Don't talk to people that aren't going to understand you. You're going to come across as rude or ignorant. And she did both. What did I say?
I mean, it's hard to, I want to, but it's hard to argue with that logic. I would love to be able to.
Mhm.
It really feels like we should argue with that logic, like it might be the morally responsible thing to do, but I just can't.
I mean,
you cannot argue with a winner.
yeah.
That's what you can't argue with.
You feel like you're sort of a Bill Belichick type, you know, like people may not love you, but you're a coach who gets the job done and you bring home the wins. Is that what?
I'll tell you what, everybody loves to win, so what's not to love about me?
It's true. I mean, when I was setting the odds that year, I was like, oh, who does Miss South Carolina have? She's got Mimi. And as soon as I said she's got Mimi, I'm like, this is a top 5 competitor for sure. I mean, you were ruthless back then.
I was ruthless back then. Indeed, you had to be.
Mm-hmm.
If you paid attention to any of that swimsuit competition, you would know we were working with about a dozen knockouts, okay? And you can put whatever fake on those girls that you want. You cannot deny that natural American beauty. So we need to be a cut above. We need to have naturally beautiful dialogue as well to match those healthy jugs we're trotting around the stage. Do you understand? We need the package. Do you understand?
You need, you know, a pair, and I'm so glad you said it. I've always said a pair of healthy jugs is not enough. You know, it's just not enough.
No, it is not enough. Now, y'all want to know what her answer was supposed to be? Do me a favor. Ask me the question, and I'll show you how we rehearsed it.
I will. I would love to. So I'll be Amy Teagarden here, and I'll tee you up. Pun intended. Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think that is?
Because Americans are not willing to discriminate against the blind. We are equal. Now, how's that for a winning answer?
Did you say discriminate against the blind?
Yes, if the blind can't see a map, I have no right looking at one.
I see. This is brilliant because this is you reframing the question. You
understand?
You're answering it on your terms.
And if
That's
I'm
what
in
they
that
do.
audience, I'm saying Amy Teagarden's canceled now. What does she hate blind people? Fuck you, Julie Taylor.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Why do you
And
think?
there you go.
Why do you think Lord Caitlin, whatever you want to call her, why do you think she botched it?
If I'm being honest with you,
Please be honest.
I think it's because of her parents.
Because of her parents.
You know,
Okay.
her mom and I used to compete together. This is the story they won't tell you. Her mom and I used to compete together, and she was popping about Asia and Africa left, right, and center. You can't believe the things this woman was saying. Where they are, who's there, people having a tough time. Come on, answer, lady. For God's sake, I don't have time for this. Anyways, so it comes down to me and her one year. And it comes down to the question. We are tied. We are neck and neck. Okay? So it comes down to the question that they ask us. Do you know what that question was? We were asked the same question.
Okay.
And they had to stop doing that after this year. But
Right, where they ask every contestant the same question.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that question was?
Go ahead.
They said, how do you plan to end world hunger?
Okay.
You know what she said?
What'd she say?
She said to feed more kids in Africa and Asia. Okay.
Wow. So that's what she said.
Saw that coming. Do you know what I said? You know what I said?
I'm scared to find out, but go ahead.
I said, feed them dreams.
Feed them dreams?
Feed them dreams. And one trophy later, look who's walking out of a pageant. Thank you.
Wow.
That was the year you won?
That was the year I won.
Wow.
And her mom has been butthurt about it since.
It's funny because, you know, it is still a hopeful answer, feed them dreams. It's not a practical answer. It makes me sad, but it also makes me hopeful, you know.
If you dream of food, you can eat food. We all saw it in Hook. That's a movie.
Yeah.
This is... And I notice you're wearing a lot of Hook merchandise. I know that you're a big Hook super fan.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
So did you follow up? Did you follow up on it? Did those kids ever wind up getting those dreams, or did they get? Did it happen? Did it come true?
I'll tell you what, it did, because I adopted one of them. Wouldn't you know? But I had the politeness not to mention it.
So you did it before the pageant and didn't bring it up?
Yes, as a teen, I adopted a child from Africa, but I didn't bring it up because I'm here to air out my personal business. I'm here trying to end world hunger.
I mean,
you're a go-getter. You know,
you're
solution oriented.
I can tell you what, after she gave that answer, I was about to go get her and rip her off that stage.
Damn, Mimi. Damn.
What'd you say to her? What'd you say to her when she stepped backstage?
I said to her, you know what I said to her? I looked her right in her beady little eyes, being wiped down with her grubby little hands. And all I said to her, after years of working together, I looked right at her and all I said to her was, even your drugs can't save you now.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be tough to hear.
Well, she always won healthiest jugs or most ample bosom competition, depending on what district you're in. You know, they change it.
Yeah.
They change it based on district. Yeah.
I'm ashamed to say that I did run odds for a few of those as well. And it was
a different time.
It was a different time.
Were different. You know?
No, the girls liked it then. It was nice.
That's right.
To know where you stand. To know where you stand.
Because it's not like best or biggest jugs. It's healthiest jugs.
It's healthy.
It's about health.
It's healthy. If I didn't win, I should probably go see my doctor. That's how you knew back then if you were okay or not.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost like a televised mammogram of some kind, you know? Like,
yeah.
I'm going to say it's exactly that.
Okay, good. Well, great.
pre-Obamacare, a lot of people's healthcare screening would be you do a pageant for whatever part of your body you were worried about, and that was how you would get. That was sort of like you're going to a GP, and then if the pageant was like something's up, you go see a specialist. You know.
Well, let's just say 2 trophies and 1 appendix later, I am fine.
You entered a healthiest appendix pageant at one point.
Yes, and I found out I did not have one. Got rid of it, came back round, 2 trophies.
Wow.
That's amazing.
You won a healthiest appendix
without an appendix.
With no appendix. I mean, that's
you'd be surprised.
Legend.
You'd be surprised how busted those appendixes are.
Wow.
It's like Air Bud rules, where there's nothing in the rule book that says if you don't have an appendix, you can't win healthiest appendix.
Oh, God, he is so brave. Now that's a winner.
Air Bud. Would you like to manage Air Bud and the dog?
Oh, he don't need me. He don't need me.
Yeah,
that guy, he nearly ruined me. I mean, when I saw one of the players, because I was running odds for middle school basketball back then, and when I saw one of the players was a fucking golden retriever, I'm like, don't overthink this, Greg. He doesn't have opposable thumbs. He can't hold a ball. He's going to be slide. He can't wear shoes. His little paws and claws sliding around. That almost ruined me. I mean, everyone bet the odds. They were getting Air Bud's team plus 25 points, and I got destroyed in that. Sorry.
Oh God. Well, you don't know until you know.
Yeah. You live and learn.
So are you doing anything with pageants anymore? I know you said it's been tough since.
Well, I'll tell you what, I recently got into what they call a virtual pageant. Okay. And basically, due to COVID, everybody is competing from home. And the categories have changed a bit. And I recently was actually asked to judge one of them.
Oh, that's fun.
I am coming in as a guest judge. I'm very excited. And it's a category that I can definitely relate to, one that I notoriously won over the years.
Oh, what category is that?
Best opinions.
Best opinions. Wow.
Yep. Best opinions.
Yep. So I'm excited to
I'm
see
not
the
surprised.
opinions. Yeah, thank you. And I'm excited to see the opinions of the girls and boys. We had to let those little guys in there. I'm excited to see the opinions that everybody brings to the table.
What do you look for in a teen's opinions? What are you looking for there?
I'm looking for fast. Get it out. Don't think.
That's important. That's always important when you're
Yeah.
I'm looking for loud. If I can't hear you, I can't believe you. I'm looking for
true.
Loud, volume. That's a big one. And I'm looking for something you can't take back.
You want a line to be crossed.
Yeah. This is where I stand. Yeah. Right. This is a quote that will follow me around for the rest of my life. What I'm about to say will be top of my Wikipedia.
Exactly. Yep.
People are either going to like this or I'm going to have to be a proud boy after this, that type of thing.
Yep, exactly. And I'm very proud. Yeah, I'm very proud. I agree. Everybody should be of their opinions.
Well, that's good advice. And it's one that I want to apply to this podcast, Greg. I want to speak everything fast, loud, and maybe regret it afterwards. You know?
We've always lived by those rules here. And I think we can go even harder on it. And I think maybe it's time to bring in our next guest here. Mimi, we hope you'll stick around.
Don't go anywhere, Mimi.
Don't go anywhere.
Coach us through the rest of this episode.
Please.
You know I won't.
All right.
Okay. It's big sip from a margarita after saying that. That's interesting. Okay.
It's sort of like a mint julep looking, but it's clearly a margarita. Like there's salt on the rim of I don't know.
Right.
It's like Southern, but not. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring in another guest here. This is a person from slightly even earlier in Miss Upton's young life. We have one of her high school English teachers, Mr. Porter. Welcome, Mr. Porter.
Wow. Hello, y'all. How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
I've been pretty good. It's just nice finally to see my star student get a little bit of coverage and notoriety that I knew she would deserve when she was in my class. And it is, under unfortunate circumstances that most people have come out and gotten to know her. But I knew her and I tutored her. She was one of my star pupils. I coached her in her senior project, which was a project that you do. It was a geography project that she did. And I coached her through that, helped her with the paper, and helped her with her oral presentation for that. And so it was finally nice to see her use the skills that I feel like I helped teach her back in the day for some good, and I do understand that what she said sounded kind of silly.
Still going.
And I do know that a lot of people say, she's not good at that stuff. But I just want to say that I think she did a really good job.
Still going.
Yeah.
She did a really good job.
He's really clinging to the fact that he thinks she did a really good job.
She just did so fantastic. And it's just nice. It's nice that she was able to get up there and compete. And it was nice for me to see her do that. It was really, really good. I'm happy for her. And I'm happy that y'all are
like
also,
it was gonna
I'm happy that y'all are also covering her.
I feel like we need Mimi to come in here and wake this guy up and tell him she did not do this question.
How dare you something? How dare you storm in here confessing to be the one that was her ultimate demise, and you're going to sit here and lie that she did good? My God, you certainly know how to make an opinion. And if it weren't for that, I would not like you. But unfortunately, my good sir, I do.
Interesting.
Wow.
Turn
Okay.
around.
What a whirlwind.
It started
I'm not so
back the original way.
Yeah, I'm not so sure Mr. Porter, as you said, knows how to make an opinion. I think he's been trying to get this one out for a little while.
Well, you know what, Mr. Porter, let's go to the text, okay? Because
let's break it down. Yeah,
like you are an English teacher. You're someone who taught her the written word, and maybe we could just go piece by piece here in terms of how much fucking sense you think it makes.
So right out the gate, I personally believe that U.S. Americans. How are we doing so far?
Well, she's identified who she's talking about. She personally believes, and the persons that she's talking about are U.S. Americans. So far, I see no problem with what she said.
Okay.
She's being very clear about who she's talking about and who the perspective from which this statement is coming from. So,
all
A
right.
plus in my book already.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, then she goes on to say that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education.
Okay. I can see what you're doing here. You're taking the uhs that she did, and you're emphasizing those as sort of you're trying to say it makes her sound stupid or whatever. But I'll tell you this: everybody does it, and it's a tool that I taught all my kids in their presentation.
You taught them to add.
I said to them, listen, when you're on the spot, it's sometimes hard to come up with a thought all in one piece. If you need to buy yourself some time, here's a few different words and phrases that you can use to do so.
Well, then she must have bought herself a grandfather clock because you had her drag that out.
But she got through it, okay? And
what else besides was there?
Yeah, what other phrases?
Of course, can throw uhs in there. You can add things like, does that make sense? You can add things like, do you know what I mean? Or are you following me? Or you can simply sort of look up at the sky in thought as if you're deep in a thoughtful sort of thing, and then say, and then take a long pause and just, as long as on your face it looks like you're thinking, you can take as much time as you want. And if look, I'll give her one note on that little bit. I think she should have taken some pauses. I think if she had taken some pauses, I felt like she did kind of put too many words in there. If she had taken out some uhs and just done a thoughtful pause, I think people wouldn't be in here saying that she didn't do good and she wouldn't have gone viral in the first place. So I just think it's a tool, okay? Did she overuse the tool? Maybe, but she got through the thought. And if you
ask you something,
it actually got pretty good.
Well, before we continue for a sec, so it seems like part of your instruction of English is teaching kids to stall when speaking. I just like.
Well, it's not stalling. It's pacing your thought.
That right
Okay.
there was a bit
Maybe
of a
I have-
stall. He went, well,
maybe I-
well.
Now he's looking up at the
Yeah.
sky. He's looking
I'm
up at the
sorry.
sky.
I
When
mean,
you
Mr. Porter, you're trying to buy some time with an empty bank account. It ain't working.
Well,
It's so-
I am a teacher.
Yeah.
I am a teacher, and I have an empty bank account in more way than one. Okay,
Oh,
so
what a clap
Okay,
back.
he is good.
What a
He
clap
is
back.
He's good. He's well. Remember, you like him, Mimi. Remember, you decided at the end that you did like him. So,
and here's
As
what
it
I'll say.
turns out, at the end of the day, I like him.
And here's what I'll say. Y'all see what I just did there? This is another rhetorical technique that I taught people, which I wish Lauren had done.
okay.
When she realized that the audience was turning on her, that Mario Lopez was standing there with a dumbfounded look on his face, you should have thrown in a little bit of shade, a little roast. You say something like, I mean, this idiot here knows what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Or-
So just a side swipe left of
Yes.
yeah.
Because again, guys, it's hard to form a full thought without time to formulate it. She didn't hear the question in advance, so she couldn't write something. So she had to do it from the top of her head. So
No,
she
we know.
had to
No,
use
she knew.
some of my rhetorical techniques.
I'm sorry, Mr. Porter, but she knew. We practiced, and there was no ums in our rehearsal. She knew.
She
Well-
was supposed to say that it was because Americans support blind people.
Listen, I agree wholeheartedly with your opinion on that. I do believe that would have been a good answer, but I think she was trying to service so many people in that audience who needed to hear so many different things. Because I'll tell you this, Mimi, a lot of those people in that audience were not blind, so they could not relate to that perspective. Okay.
Oh,
And
my
and so
God.
she had to expand a little bit. She had to include more people than just the seeing community.
Typical
Because-
man coming in here telling me
Okay.
who and who not is blind. I don't need to hear it.
I'm not
I just
trying
want
to
to.
say
I just want to
who
paint a
is and
picture
who
for the
isn't blind.
listener where Mimi is in front of a copy of her book. I don't want to hear it, and Mr. Porter is in front of a copy of his book. Did y'all see what I just did there? So,
Yeah.
it's
And
these
I don't
are
know
two titans of this, speech industry.
I got a copy of both these books. I'm looking at Mr. Porter's book jacket here, and where the blurb
Thank
would
you.
be, it's just a picture of him staring up at the sky, and he
It
seems like
sounds
because
about right.
Because
deep
the
in
viewer
thought.
gets to tell the story there. You see what I'm saying? I
No.
think what another assessment that I think would have been more fair for Lauren's speech at that pageant was that she wanted the audience to do a little bit of work. Okay, that's another thing that I teach my kids in rhetoric classes. You don't want to lay your point out so clear that nobody in the audience has to think about it. Okay, if you give them every little crumb, and you walk them straight to the point. I mean, what's the purpose of that? That doesn't benefit anybody. You just want them to turn their minds off and listen to you. So I tell my kids, throw a little non sequitur in there. Phrase something a little bit weird. Add an extra word in there that you're just like, did she mean to put that word in there? Because it sounded like she just when she says such as in there. I'll tell you this, that I thought was brilliant because everybody remembers exactly what she said because they
I will
remember that
say-
such as.
I
Give
will
them
say it was a bold move to say such as and place it where she did. And that was actually one of the highlights of the speech to me.
Okay, Mimi giving it up for that a little
For
bit.
the such as.
I mean, it's the iconic moment, okay?
It is the iconic moment.
I want to know where everyone comes down on what I talked about earlier with Devin, what I thought was really her sticking the landing, which is those final 3 words, for our children. Now, how did we all feel about that? Mimi, did you like the for our children ending? Was that part of the original plan?
For me, you knows I can't have kids. So I saw that
Oh.
as an attack.
Okay.
Oh,
A personal bar.
No, I did not like that part. And sorry, Mr. Porter, that I'm not going to throw an extra word in here so that you can think about it. Because the bottom line is, I did not like that part.
Damn.
Mimi, I just want to go ahead. I want to come out and say it, Mimi. We are not at odds with each other. Okay?
We are not. I liked you quite a bit.
No, it's purely a tone thing.
Mhm.
It's just hitting your ear as if they hate each other, but they really are getting along.
Which to me, yes, exactly. This is exactly how you create intrigue. You say you say things in a way that it causes an audience's ear to perk up. Okay. The way she sort of circles around ideas in her answer and sort of almost hits it, the audience is drawing the line between the dots in those moments.
Sure.
The audience understands exactly what she's saying because she's just sort of hinting at her point.
So you teach your students to like basically edge the audience. They're edging the audience by like brushing up against the point, or
so you're talking about the sex thing, the sex.
We're talking about the sex act edging. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I don't use those terms, but I guess if I'm thinking about what that sort of analogy would mean in this context, yes, I think you do want to walk them right up to the edge of understanding the point you're trying to make.
I thought you were I thought you were familiar with edging because I'm seeing a copy of your other book, which I think is a guide to edging. It's you shirtless on the cover, and it says, "Did y'all see what I almost did there?"
Exactly.
I read that. Yeah. I read
well, you know, as I said, you know,
forward by the edge.
That's true. He's my cousin.
No shit. Way to bury the lead, Mr. Porter.
Yes. Well, I don't like to give people everything because I don't like to feel like I'm taking shortcuts, and I feel like coming out in front of everybody, first thing you say is, "Hi, my name's Mr. Porter. My cousin is the Edge." Immediately, everybody wants to hear everything that you got to say.
Right.
So, and I want to earn it. And that's what I also want from all my students. I don't want them to take any shortcuts. I want them to formulate their thoughts, speak them as clearly as possible, and then have whatever happens happen.
Well,
Okay?
I've got bad news for you, Mr. Porter, because that's exactly what you're doing, and I agree.
And
it didn't sound like bad news. It was like good news in a way.
I got scared. I thought she was going to come down on me.
Tell you how to take news.
And to get back
every night at 6 p.m. to let you know if this one's hitting you like a ton of bricks or not. Get real.
Get real, Mr. Porter.
I will get real. And just to get back to your point about my edging book, yes, I did write a book on sexual edging.
Great. I'm not shaming you. I think that's great.
Right. And it's just, you know, it's not as family friendly as my other works.
Right.
You know, it's a little more risque, but honestly, it sold more copies than my.
I don't doubt it.
Speech.
Of course.
So it's the one that's really putting food on the table these days. But yeah, you know, what I really wanted to come on here and talk about is just how I feel like my prize pupil Lauren Upton has been dragged through the mud over the past how many years? 12 years. 13 years, 14 years, who knows? She's
Depends
still
when we get around to releasing this.
She's still getting dragged through the mud today. She's still a laughingstock. And I just want everybody out there to know that she's a person. That's all I want them to know. She's a person who has thoughts and listen, you've all been there. How many times, all three of y'all, how many times have you been in front of a group of people and they've asked you a question and you've said something that you've said a sentence that should have been 8 words, but you ended up saying a sentence that's 135 words. You know what I mean? We've all been there. We talk too much. Let me think about when was the last time I was in front of a crowd and asked a question and an answer that should have been 8 words ended up being 135.
Yeah, let me think about that.
Look at y'all buying time. You're buying time. Buying time.
Such as
this is exactly what I'm talking about.
I have, and I never will speak more than 50 words at a time. Because those are the pageant rules.
It's true. Mimi does sort of short shotgun bursts of her personality. And it is very effective. I am jealous of that.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but thank you.
And again,
not a problem. Well, Mr. Porter, I mean, so she's a person. It's important for us to remember that. And, I guess what would your advice be to anyone else, any other young person who finds themselves in Caitlin's situation and becomes the victim of sort of a viral moment like this, of maybe saying something that wasn't exactly what they meant to say?
That's a very good question.
Thank you.
I think
Stall.
Everybody out there, if you really think about it,
Stall.
needs to think about what they would do if they were in her shoes. And her shoes, they're smaller than yours, maybe, but you should probably be able to feel the feelings that she felt by putting yourself mentally into the shoes that she was wearing. Pageant shoes.
Okay.
They're sort of like
That's a stall.
high heels, maybe.
They're size 6, they're high heel, and they're made of crystal.
Point.
And so what I would say to everybody out there is that you need to do such things as listen and as look around and like
he is currently looking
take in your surroundings and read a book.
He's really thinking.
And holding up both copies of his book, so he says, "Read a book."
and learn about people whose experiences have been different from yours, such as children in poverty.
He keeps teasing us with a point. It's driving me crazy. I really want to get to this point. Oh God,
so fucking close.
And so I guess what I'm trying to say at the end of the day, when all is said and done,
at the end of the day,
oh God,
we're winding down.
Is that
the point on.
Sometimes people don't actually say the thing they intend to say when they're talking.
Okay, fuck this. God. We got to go to a break. Greg, we got to go to a break. Okay, Greg,
God.
Please.
Okay, all right, let's take a break. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll be back with Mimi and Mr. Porter.
Welcome back to Firsthand. We're here with Mimi and Mr. Porter, and we've been enjoying some of these mojito margaritas during the break.
Yeah.
Really tasty stuff. I feel like we're all now in a kind of a comfortable, friendly, like workshop-y place, you know, like we're all people who have different theories about what makes the best pageant winner, you know, that's all.
Mimi, would you come next week on the Monsanto Presents the Firsthand Cruise on the listenership and come make drinks for people? Because I don't know, Devin, did we sort out drinks?
I was under the impression that it was a booze free-for-all, like not an open bar, but a free-for-all bar where you could just, whoever gets it, gets it.
You're out of your mind if you think I was ever leaving.
Hey-o! There we go. That's that radical. She's like Judge Judy or something, you know? It's like she hates everyone else, but she loves me. That's what it feels
That works. That works.
So what we're going to do today, since we're kind of all discussing what makes a good pageant winner, how do we handle ourselves in these moments of pressure when we have to answer these questions under the gun? And so, you know what? We're going to put our money where our mouth is. We're all going to take a crack at it. Greg is going to read us some pageant questions. Mm-hmm. And Greg, if you send me one for yourself, I can ask you that question.
I will do that.
And Greg and I will go first. Greg, you can ask me a question, and we'll just do our best to put ourselves in these shoes, in these tiny pageant shoes, as Mr. Porter was talking about.
Great. So Devin, you're going to be Miss Teen. You're Miss Teen Washington. All
Miss
right?
Teen Washington, trying to become from Wenatchee, Washington, and I'm channeling Mimi. I'm thinking of short bursts of loud confidence. Okay, give it to me, Greg.
If you could meet anyone from history, who would it be and why?
First of all, for me personally, I think you asking me this question is offensive. And I think no one should be forced to learn history of any kind. If I wanted to learn history, I'd turn on the damn History Channel. And even then, they'd only tell me about ancient aliens. Listen, motherfuckers, I think that if you want to eat dinner with someone, it should be someone alive in your own goddamn family. You heard? I don't know why I closed on you.
Wow.
Of course it threw me. I'm sorry. Wow.
Okay.
I'll tell you what.
Nerve-wracking.
Pretty forceful.
I'll tell you what. You can't take that back.
See, and that's what I was trying to go for. I figured, you know what? I could pussyfoot around this subject, or I could dive right in.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, you really seem like you went.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Mr. Porter's got a note, I guess. Here we go.
No, I was just gonna say, I don't want to give you a note. It's not a note. I'm just asking you from your sort of comfortability level. Did it feel good to talk so consistently for such a long amount of time without any breaks or pauses? Because it felt like, in my opinion, you could have spaced it out a little bit. You could have given us a little bit less and allowed us to sort of walk that line a little bit ourselves.
I'll tell you what, Mr. Porter, it's an interesting thought because even though I kind of fundamentally hate everything you said, I do have to sort of agree that while I was talking, I did feel terrible. I was sort of quaking and nauseous, and I just really felt like I might hurt someone or myself. So there's something about the terror of it. I'm willing to try anything, you know?
Yeah, because you did seem like you really went from the Mimi school of pageant answering as opposed to the Mr. Porter.
Hey, as Mimi has often screamed to me, if it ain't broke, shut the fuck up, you know?
Mm-hmm. If you're not about to pass out, you're not pageant.
Wow. Another pearl of wisdom.
There you go.
Yeah,
all right, Greg, it's your turn.
I put the question. Yeah, I wrote it down.
Yeah,
on
you're
Miss
Team Ohio.
From New Concord, Ohio.
If you had to pick someone besides your wealth, oh, Jesus Christ, I can't even handle this.
Take your time.
Right.
Now I'm looking at Amy Teagarden going, you really nailed it. Okay.
Take your time. Take your time, Devin. Take your time with it. Add a pause in there. Remember all the tools you have at your disposal. You could say, does this make sense?
Okay, I got it.
You can say, does this make sense? You know what I mean? You understand? You have all those.
Yeah, I got that. Yes, okay. Listen.
Okay.
Greg, if you had to pick someone besides yourself to win this pageant, who would it be?
Oh, wow. I mean, there's so many qualified young women here who are, I'm sure, going to be future leaders of America. I think if I had to pick someone, I would probably pick Katie Fitzgerald from Georgia because I laid $40 on her at 51-1 odds and parlayed it with Natasha from Montana winning Healthiest Jugs. And so the multiplier on those is paying off at over 250 and over plus 250. So I'm looking at a big payday of about, $500 or so. Don't check my math. So I would choose Katie and then Natasha for the jugs. And then I would choose myself to show because I bet on myself to show, which is third place in horse terms because I feel like I'm a horse. Good night.
Okay. Wow.
I lost it at the end.
No, but here's the thing. I loved all that. That first little bit that was sort of just like meaningless, just sort of letting you in there. You know what I mean?
Had meaning.
Right, yeah. Well, I don't know. To the outsiders, it kind of felt like you were just vamping to get to the good stuff, which I loved because it gave us time to sort of learn your cadence, Mm-hmm. And then a couple of those that you threw in there, I thought were really perfectly placed.
I don't think there were any.
Could have used a little bit more. You go back and listen to the recording. There were a few of them. There was a few in there. A lot of times it's subconscious, folks. It's subconscious.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I loved you showing math. It was fun, it was flirty, and believe you me, those judges love a little of intellectual attention.
No. Wow. That's nice, Greg. You're doing okay with Mimi. That's okay. Good. And I personally thought it was really exciting when we got into the minutia of win, place, or show, parlay, that sort of betting structure. That it was just like I was leaning forward,
Should I have talked about the props? Oh, I should have talked about the props.
You know what? Don't beat yourself up.
I didn't miss it.
Didn't miss it? Okay. All right. Well, Mimi.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mimi, I got a question for you, okay?
And I've got an answer.
Wow, the confidence.
Wow. And that's even its own little, when they say we're going to ask you a question, you could throw something like that in,
Well, technically, you're given two answers, and they love
Smart.
There you go.
Mimi, are you from South Carolina? We didn't ask. What state are you representing here?
You mean right now in this game or originally?
Originally,
I am from South Carolina, and in this game, I'm representing South Carolina.
Okay.
Great. Great. Another little whiplash there, but loved it. Okay.
Yeah.
Miss South Carolina, what would you say to people who do not believe that pageants are a good influence on women?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah? Well, take a look at me now. When I grew up, I was playing sports. And you know where that got me to? Knocking out all my teeth. Now, you ask yourself this. You want to be a toothless woman for the rest of your life? No. What you want to be is a beautiful woman. And you're only going to get there by doing pageants. You tell me how that's putting pressure on women to be something that they can't realistically achieve. Oh, please.
Wow.
Me.
Wow.
Damn.
Here's what I want to latch on to.
Please.
When you said, do you want to be a toothless woman for the rest of your life? That felt both literal and like a metaphor.
Yeah, right.
Toothless, but also toothless, and that spoke to me because I feel like sometimes I'm toothless, literally and metaphorically.
And it's tough.
It's tough, man.
Because you know what happens when you're toothless? You can't take a bite out of life.
See, and there's another little bonus answer you could toss in. I mean, this really feels like, Mimi, I think you perfectly executed on your mission, which is to just sort of make people think that something was said,
Thank you.
Yeah. And wow. Okay, let's hear from Mr. Porter. I mean, because this is now we're going to see the meeting of the styles,
Okay, here we go. Mr. Porter.
Hey, get ready. This ought to take a while, and I am all ears.
Mr. Porter, what state do you want to represent in the game?
Well, I was born in northeastern North Carolina, moved to South Carolina when I was 6 years old. So I'll say I'm from North Carolina.
Great. So, Miss North Carolina, how would you balance high school and your extracurricular activities if you were to win this title? Great start.
That's a very interesting question. I personally believe that if I were to win this title, which we all are aware of what that title is and what it means, I would take the responsibilities that come along with it, and I would try my very best to sort of fold them in to the responsibilities that I have in my everyday life, which are things like continuing to finish the books that I'm writing, spending time with friends, family, colleagues, and other people. I would also like to think that this title wouldn't change who I am as a person, because I believe that we as people on America have a duty to stay consistent and good. Because if we don't do those things, then we as people will never connect with each other. And if we do not connect with each other, then we will never connect with anything or anybody. And what we need to make sure is that we as people do connect with each other and ourselves, because there's nothing worse than living your life not knowing who you are or the people who are also around. And at the end of the day, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself, which is a thing that people have said.
Oh my God. At the end of the day, which is when the speakers.
Wow. Mr. Porter.
Are you even done, Mr. Porter?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I could see. I know that I would get the music. The music would play, and I'd have to stop.
Yeah, I think the music would have definitely come in at some point.
I had plenty more to say, but that would be my concise answer.
Well, listeners, take your pick. You can have the Mimi School, which is kind of shout about something even you didn't fully hear or want to hear, or the Mr. Porter School of always be talking.
Mm. Yeah, or the Greg School, which had no ums and which had no filler, all killer, and everything was really substantive and great.
Or the Devin School of just kind of close your eyes and step on the gas.
The point is stay in school.
And hey, if there is a point to this whole episode,
that is
really nice close, I think. Well, I mean, guys, this has been such a journey. I feel like we've all learned so much. Mimi, is there anything you'd like to let the listeners know about? Any plugs you might have?
Yes. First of all, I would like it if you all would check out my podcast. It's called Tell It Like It Is and Tell It to Me, and I will say it right on back to you. And
I'm looking at some of the merch. I'm looking at some of the merch you brought with you, and it's a little bit unwieldy. Yeah. These are a lot of XXXXLs.
It's a podcast that takes commitment, and as it turns out, it also takes equipment, which we are a little short of at the time. So we have yet to release an episode.
Okay.
But we have had the social medias going for about a year.
That's great. So everyone check those out. Check out those socials. And then, you'll get the rest at some point. Mr. Porter, what about you?
Well, of course, you can buy either of my books. Do you see what I just did there? Do you see what I almost just did there? Obviously 18 plus for the second one. But also if you want to, my nephew-in-law has a website that he does with his friends. It's called biggrandewebsite.com that you can go to, and he does comedy with them guys. I don't get it, but he seems to think it's funny. But you can go there and you can get some podcasts from him.
I've heard some of their bullshit. I don't think it's funny either. Yeah, so
it's pretty hard it's pretty impenetrable unless you're a psychopath. As well,
hey, we got good news about our listenership. We ran the data. And I think it's about 85% psychopaths listening to this.
Oh, fantastic!
Oh, God, you are a card, and I am playing for keeps. My God.
Maybe these should be the shirts. These should be the shirts.
Well, she's full of them. I mean,
you're a shirt factory. You're a busted tease. You're a walking busted tease.
Yes. Well, that's been it for this episode of Firsthand. And tune in next week for the finale next week.
Show up.
Who knows when they're coming out. Goodbye.
Listenership, everyone.
Find more great shows and see what's behind it all at backdrop.fm.